Okay, so in this module, what I want to talk about is metal. The drywall's all hung. Now the next piece is what we put up is what's called metal or corner bead. This is the stuff that you're going to put up at the end of a run of drywall. So typically, let's say when you're going to enter a hallway and there's no door there, instead of having just the fresh or rough look of the drywall where the drywall meets, drywall to drywall, you're going to put these pieces of metal on it that's going to cover it and give it a nicer accent to clean that up, right? And so let's just get into it. So there's only two styles, right? You have bull nose, which is this, and bull nose is a rounded. Okay, it's rounded, has a rounded finish to it. And you have square. I don't know if there's another name for it, but that's what I call it. It's just a 90-degree angle, and it goes over and it gives you that finished look. Really, it's preference. It's preference. I will say that doing bull nose, when you have to do the hole all the way around, the sticks aren't that hard, but when you have to know how to fill it all in properly, because with bull nose, it's just a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than it is with square. Other than the two styles, you have different types, okay? So it's kind of like the grocery store. You got paper, plastic, and metal, right? So let me just, again, this is what your plastic is gonna look like. It has these holes, okay? There's different types of paper. This is the only one that I could find at Lowe's. Sometimes they have another type of paper where it's, I have this other kind right here. And this is what I use in emergencies when I forget to buy it. So this one has a metal insert, and then the outsides are paper, like the paper tape I'm gonna show you. And you just crease it. You just give it a little bit of a crease, right? And that gives you a metal. But this is way easier to carry because it comes in this little box, right? It's this little box. And it's literally a roll of corner bead. And then the last kind is metal, which is, you know, just the metal corner bead. Again, it's a preference thing. You know, I've seen other creators that show it and people are bashing them like, oh, you're so old school, you're using metal, blah, blah. I came up in a commercial where all we used was metal. I prefer metal, I'm used to metal. It's what I like, it's what I use, okay? I've also been on smaller projects where people have used the paper because they run it through this machine that kind of butters it, if you will. And as it's going through the machine, it's buttering by putting the mud on here, and then they just stick it on the wall. Or you can do it by hand, you're gonna wipe it on there and then take it off, okay? And the last one, I know guys that use this. The guys that I work with the town that I work for right now, they prefer using this type, just because they say it's the best there is. You know, but it handles the impact better because the plastic. But I don't know. I've never had them damaged enough to see whether it held up better one or the other. Okay, the last piece is adhering them. So I believe there's 4 ways that I can think of that you're going to adhere them or that you're going to put them onto the wall. The first one is screws. You can use screws, right? They obviously have holes. You can do it on the plastic and the metal. You cannot do it on the paper, okay? You can use staples. I've seen people use staples. I've used staples on the plastic and the metal, and some guys freak out when I use staples on the plastic, okay? You can use a clinch-on. A clinch-on is a specialty tool that's only made for the metal. It's a mallet, a rubber mallet with a rubber head, and it has this clinching machine that you slide up and down. You hammer it, and it creates little grooves that go into the drywall. They stick into the drywall, so you're hammering it. Now again, if this is for home repairs, I don't recommend getting that. Obviously, you can just get screws or you can use staples. It'll be just as well. Again, don't break the budget. If you're just doing home repairs, then I would say you don't need to get a clinch on, okay? There's a spray that I believe is in the paint section. It's called, I believe, 77. And it's just this adhesive that you're gonna spray on the drywall, you're gonna spray it on the back of this, and then you stick it on. And making these videos, I actually forgot to pick up a can of it because I was gonna show you that one. And then the final way to put it on is that you're gonna mud the wall. You're gonna use hot mud preferably, and I'll get into what hot mud is, but you're gonna use hot mud preferably on the wall, and then you're gonna put this on there and you're gonna push it on there. No screws, no staples. So those are your what, 4 or 5 ways. You can use a clinch on with metal only. You can use screws with the metal or the plastic. You can use staples with the metal or the plastic. You can use an adhesive spray that comes in a can. It's made by 3M. It's 3M, I think 77. And then you can use hot mud. With the paper ones, with the ones that have the paper like this, you know, the paper where it's extra paper, just like paper, you can use regular mud. You know, so those are about the 4 or 5 different ways that you can do it. Again, whatever suits your needs. So those are the different styles, those are the different types, and those are the different ways that you're going to adhere them. So let's start measuring to cut the next one and put them on.